This is what I know to be true so far, the show that inspires you to awaken the magic within and step into your most authentic life. I'm Kerry-Ann McKenzie, a multi-passionate spiritual mentor, magic maker, nature energy alchemist, and creator of the Rebellion of Love. If you're ready to experience self-liberation and create a life entirely on your terms, this is the show for you. I'm so grateful to have you with me on this journey to awakening the magic within with what I know to be true so far. Hello, beautiful soul, and welcome to another episode of What I Know to Be True So Far. I'm looking forward to today's episode. I'm going to talk a little bit about what happens in my bed. I don't mean that in a sexual way. I want to talk to you a little bit about something that came up with Tim and I when we were having some pillow talk the other day. So usually I wake up in the morning and Tim is asleep for another good hour and a half. And I get up and I do my morning routine. But every now and then we wake up at the same time and we lay there and we have the most incredible, interesting philosophical conversations. It's one of my favorite things about our relationship. We just have this amazing ability to talk nonstop with each other about ideas on consciousness, spirituality, business, creativity, all of the things that we're both really passionate about. And we were laying in bed and he started talking about something to do with how sometimes when he wakes up, his mind instantly thinks of coffee. When am I going to go get the coffee? Am I going to walk and get a coffee? How am I going to get the coffee? And we were laughing about like how dumb the brain is and how it instantly is trying to fill itself with stuff all the time just to avoid being present, And we were talking about that and it started with that and then it ended up way in a totally different direction about where that comes from, like where is this inherent desire within us to be constantly filling ourselves up. And we moved into then the areas of like success and, what motivates us for achievement and things like that. And this conversation went on for ages. During the success part of this conversation, though, we touched on something which I wanted to talk about today in the episode. So Tim listens to a podcast by Chris Williamson, Ancient Wisdom, Something Wisdom. I'm going to get that wrong. I will correct it in the show notes and leave a link to his podcast because it is really great. But he was doing a kind of interview and I'm not sure if it was on his podcast or someone else's, but he started sort of saying, I get to travel the world and all this stuff, but like essentially I'm just living out of a suitcase. And he was really kind of talking about the negative aspects about success and his success. And so we were talking about whether or not Chris Williamson had deep love in his life. Because I truly believe, well, obviously I created the Rebellion of Love, but I truly believe that at the end of the day, we just want love, like in the highest, purest form, the frequency of love. And everything we're trying to do externally is in the hope that we will feel love. And I'm not talking just about romantic love, I'm talking about love in general. We go through life and we decide that the pillars of success are like external pillars, right? And we're like, oh yeah, we're really successful if we have a career that we enjoy, we have loads of money in the bank, we've got a really nice house, we're like financially stable is such a huge pillar of success. And other areas like health and looking good, like we've decided like if you look good, then you are therefore successful. Which is so random and so weird, but there's so many of these different pillars of success that we've all just kind of decided. But we started talking about actually, what if you redefined your pillars of success and what does that look like? And I was sort of saying to Tim, to be honest, I don't equate any of that stuff, like any of the external material stuff, to success. And I'd truly felt incredibly successful in my life for like the last 8 years of my life. And regardless of what is on the outside, and that's not saying I'm like entirely satisfied with my financial situation or any of that, like in the last 8 years, I've gone through all kinds of stuff in the last 8 years, but at my core, I felt very successful. And that is because my pillars of success are joy, love, and creativity. So I have decided that that is success for me. If I have joy, love, and creativity, then I'm a successful person. And I was saying to Tim, I wonder how many people are actually chasing the external success without having the foundational success in place, which really is to feel joy, love, and have creative expression, right? If we look at cultures that do not have the material things that we have, that do not have the external metric of society norms of success, and they live in a culture where it's filled with community and very connected to nature and all these sorts of things, they are generally really happy people, even though they do not have the external metrics and measures that we have in our culture here in Australia and the US and the really westernized culture, I guess is what I'm trying to say here. And I truly, truly, truly think that people who achieve these external metrics of success that are around money, the house, material possessions, traveling around the world, doing all these things, the reason why once they get the fame and all those sorts of things, the reason why they feel that complete emptiness still, or that complete deep sadness still, is because they've strived and they've thrived for the success or pillars that actually don't bring you any closer to yourself. They don't bring you any closer to the energy of love, and they don't create the joy and the creativity to fully creatively express everything that's inside you that wants to come out into this 3D world, right? Because creativity is really, I mean, for me, I believe it's my soul expressing itself in whatever way it feels in the moment, whether that's writing, whether that's painting, whether that's sculpting, whether that's any of the things that I like to do, knitting, anything. It's, wow, I get to create something that's amazing. And these are just my pillars. Now, everyone else has got their own pillars. My pillars doesn't make me right. Everyone's got their own. And my invitation today is to ask yourself, like, what are your pillars of success? Because if we can create the pillars of success that align with us, and I really, truly think essentially they're your deepest values too, your pillars of success. If you're unsure of what they might be, I would look first to what you value, right? Underneath each one, there's like a list of things that kind of will create the overall beautiful, successful life that you want to have for yourself. So if you can cultivate joy, love, and creativity, for example, well and truly before you have any of the material things, what you're really essentially creating is an incredibly fulfilled life that's incredibly in touch with your soul, that's incredibly in touch with connection and things like health, right? Because you can't be joyful if you don't have good health. Health is fundamental to the joy, right? So if you really think about like what makes up joy, what makes up love, and what makes up creativity, and you get that sorted, you can't help but have the most fulfilling life. And I know deep, deep, deep in my heart that even though I am ambitious and I have big goals for me and my family, and Tim and I, we are really into consciously co-creating as a couple and as a blended family. And this concept and this idea of big things, we truly, truly, truly know that none of that is going to make us feel any more fulfilled than how we feel about ourselves and each other and our life in this very moment, because everything in our life is built off the foundations of the success pillars of joy, love, and creativity. So, what is it that you have decided is your pillars for success? What have you told yourself equate to success? And do they really, truly give you success? Really contemplate it. If I can attain particular states of beings or ways of being in the world, and I gave them the category of, if I achieve these, I am successful, I think that you'll find the most incredible human experience, and you'll amplify your feelings of alignment, your feelings of connecting to your soul, your feelings of community and belonging, your feelings of wholeness, fulfillment, your feelings of purpose. And I was listening to something today. It was a quick reel I saw on Preston Smiles Instagram, and it was Will Smith, and he was talking about people often speak about their rock bottom, and you're in your rock bottom and you're in the depths of despair. But there's also the highest cliff top, and the highest cliff top is when you get every single external manifestation of material things, the fame, the fortune, all the stuff, and you also enter into the deepest despair, because neither of those things, rock bottom or having it all, is going to give you what you really, really, truly want, which is a relationship with self. And he said, which is a relationship with self. But for me, it's like, yes, a relationship with self, but also what I truly, really, really, really want more than anything in life is to have sparks of joy, to know love and to deeply love and be loved, and also to creatively express whatever my heart desires or whatever my soul is craving to express in the world. And I'm going to leave that with you today, and let me know what you think. I think that Will Smith was definitely onto something there. And I definitely think that Tim and I, in our philosophical pillow talk conversations, are definitely getting into some really juicy, lovely things. And I can't actually wait to have him on the podcast so that we can talk about the full spectrum of what it's like having a relationship as a blended family, but also a very transparent relationship that's really a co-creation relationship that's conscious, that is full of love and full of connection and all the good things, but also holds space for the very real humanness that is two people with different attachment styles and truckloads of baggage that we had to work through together. And yeah, I can't wait. I'd love for you guys to hear about all the wonderful things that Tim has to say as well. He's an incredible human being. We'll also get into some human design, because that's what really changed our relationship. And I really want to share that with everybody, because I've got some cool new features on the website where you can go and get your human design chart, but like your relationship chart. So if you enjoyed this episode, please share this work. I would love for what I know to be true so far to get out to as many people and really spark these curious conversations that we can have with ourselves and others. You can follow me on Instagram, kerryanne.mckenzie, over on Substack, The Rebellion of Love, or Kerryanne McKenzie. You can find my work there, obviously on all of your podcast platforms as well, and soon on YouTube, which I'm very excited about. You have a beautiful day, and I'll talk to you soon. And in the meantime, don't forget to keep on exploring what it is that you know to be true so far.